Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Most of my cough is gone, which is kind of nice. But I noticed, boom, just as I said that, it threw out the little cough. But as you can see right there, there's the dollar index. We're having a little problem getting it up on Chicago Quant again today. But we'll battle with it again. We keep on battling and trying to get it resolved. You can see the dollar is weakening. You can see those three red hinky ASCII, or is it four now? Look at that. You see that pressure's on. I know we're in the daily sell, and we are starting to threaten the weekly on the Chicago Mercantile Index, but nothing so far in the sense of, dollar like falling down. It's just that they're just buying stocks and bonds and so forth. The QT has been, I know some of you might be wondering, what is QT? Quantitative tightening. They don't really do much tightening. They raise rates with inflation at 8.5%. They've got the interest rates up to 4%, which is kind of good, good, in the sense of they're actually trying to do something. We're not totally convinced. We would have been better off if they kept the lower rates and then done the QT instead. So when you have 9 or 10 or 11 trillion in equity, the Fed is having a hard time wanting to try to sell that to somebody. Doesn't seem like anybody out there wants it. So in other words, this is a stimulus economy with a stimulus world being stimulated, and that's pretty much where we're at. Oh, let me go and put us up on so I can see if anybody's asking any questions. Right there. There it is. And let's push that button. Button. People keep commenting. Whoa! Too loud. Too loud. Too loud. Too loud. Too loud. Too loud. There we go. And we could see. Can I hear? I see Janos. Yep. And most people won't show. We got tech issues with login. Oh, really? I see Methos here. Do the program for them to see it later. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I guess some parts of the world are able to slide in, other parts of the world are not. That's usually the way it works in the end. We're having problems on our website too the last 2 days, I guess it is. Some change in Microsoft kind of made things go awry, and the emails weren't going out the way they're supposed to go, and it's just technology as its best. Think of it this way. Look how good it is that we can do these things here in the 21st century, So that's pretty cool in its own right, as far as I'm concerned. But you can see there the dollar index, trying to roll over. It's trying to come down. We've got the euro, trying to climb up. We got 4 days now in greens. You can see that on the Chicago Quant over there on the right side. They are buying pairs and they're selling some dollars, which needs to be done. You need to do that. You got to take profits. The whole idea is, you buy something and you're making money on it. And if you don't take a profit when you're making money, then when you're selling it next time, it's because you're losing money. So, it's the whole idea is to make some do-re-mi. All right. From there, let's take a look at... Oh, and what else? Do I have anything else to say about the whole... I guess, if anything, Janos... It's the S&Ps are still lifting up. We're up 600 on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We're seeing some strength across the equity market across the world. And that's what I was saying, is that the QT, would have been nice if they would have done a QT, like with the 9 or 10 or 11 trillion in the portfolio. If they had started liquidating that, say, a year plus ago, that would have been nice, The Dow Jones Industrial Average might be at 36. Mr. Biden did a lot of different things that forced the world markets down in value. Maybe they're just trying to, Biden likes to do things on the cheap. So you never know with Biden. He's probably trying to buy in. He's got all that do-re-mi from China. And he's got that do-re-mi from Russia. He's got that do-re-mi from the Ukraine. And who knows where else he gets his money. He gets tons of money from all over the place. He's worth millions of dollars. So maybe he planned on knocking down the world financial system, and this way he can buy low. And remember, he's towards his retirement years. So what you want to do is you want to buy low in your retirement years and be able to sell it high. So this could literally be, the Biden, investment plan. We'll see. As time goes on, we'll learn more. There's talk of opening all those things up and taking a look and see if he's allowed to constantly take in tens of millions of dollars and be president of the United States and be vice president of the United States and all that stuff. That's going to be a fun thing going into the new year. So, all right. From there, let's jump over to the euro. Let's put her up on the old screen here. Just trying to figure out where that sound is coming from. Let's see. So let's put it in right. Let's see, where's it at? Right there, right? Yeah. Euro. Bingo. Nope. Cable. There it is. You see that? Lifting up, which is good. Take a little profit, try to get this thing back up to the century mark would be nice. Look at that. Can you imagine all those decades people have said to me, Doc, when's it going to go below 1? When's it going to go below 1? Everybody was waiting for it to go below 1. Now it's below 1. And so, is that good, bad, or indifferent? I don't know. I know one thing, it helps out the European community. The European community could use a lower euro. I know that Germany enjoys like 118, 120, but Spain, and Greece are much more comfortable down in 68 or 72 or something like that, So, it wouldn't be, we need that euro, I guess, obviously to get trapped between 118 and 60. So I guess in between there is what, like 85? Sound fair there? We're in there. 90? 90 would be 28, and 28 down would be basically 62. So, it wouldn't be bad if it would find a way to kind of anchor itself in the 90s, the low 90s. That would be kind of good, Whoa! So, someone set a fire and got caught in it. Ouch. So, that's what we're seeing here with the euro. Now, let's go over to the cable. Oh, and let me just say this about that. You can see we've been in a weekly sell since here. Where's that line at? Let's put that line in. It's not the mouse there. There's the mouse. So we've been in a weekly sell since right here. There we go. And you can see that's been a while, and it did it in the, where's that area? That's like the 102, 103 area. And, here we've gotten down as low as 95 and change. So that's pretty cool. That helps out a lot. It helps what they call the pigs. Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain. It helps them out. They need a lower euro. It helps out their economies. All right, now from there, let's jump over to the cable. See what Mr. and Mrs. Cable's up to this morning. And there's the British pound. You see the green for the last 4 days. You can see the green line above the dashed line, showing some nibbling away. And let's put it up on. I'm confused on my masses. There we are. Put it up on right there. And you can see here, same situation. It's been in that weekly sell since right there. Let's put that in there. There we are. And it's getting very close. Look at that. We are getting close to the zero line. So cable's trying. We're 4 days in a buy. Went into the daily buy right there. Let's put that in. Green and dashed and thin. There we are. And it's flirting a little bit with the sell today. Just I guess you can see on J4X, we've got the green line trying to bang against the dashed line there. And over here, you can see we have the, is that the right one? Let's just double check that. Cancel. There we go. That should be green. That should be white. There we go. That's better. And you see we're just flirting underneath right now. Just flirting. As the weekly is climbing up. Now, there's going to be another. Obviously, there's something going on in England in the sense of they're trying to figure it out. There's a group that claims that Boris was not supposed to be removed. I don't know. I guess we're going to see. Oh, there's 847. You know what? Robin was saying to me this morning, yesterday too. He sent it over. Take a look at the S&P and Nikkei. But also, guess what they've done? They've created a Topex index here in the States that's in dollar terms. So we're going to try to get that up on the machine over the next couple of days too, and see if that's better than looking at the Nikkei for you. But let's take a look at the S&Ps. Yeah, Robin was talking to me about it yesterday. I think I saw it on. Yeah, yesterday was Monday. I think I saw the announcement on Friday. Let's see. Right there. And there is the S&P 500 right there. You see it's still climbing nicely. Still in that daily buy. The weekly is trying to get its head up above the water. You can see the Blue Echo has been very firm today and this week. And it would be, where's the zero line? I guess the zero line is right there. So this is very positive. We would like to see this. If this green line gets through together with the two of them, I think there's a lot more buying up into the 4,000 area. We'll see. Now let's go take a look at Nikkei. Banzai. And there it is right there. And you can see the same thing going on. But also look at that. That's trying to pierce down. And this is the Nikkei. And you can see the weekly is trying to lift up. And you can see the Blue Echo is, trying to get past the zero line already. And they're pushing on it. Let's tighten it up a little bit for you. You can see there it's trying. It's especially that nice big move we had last Friday, and it's held up. I think it's been kind of mixed right there. I think it was a little bit lower, and then it's come up. Now it's coming up again. So you can see that buying that's going on across the whole global equity market in general. And I guess, like I said, if the Fed is not taking care of QT, and supposedly they've only sold off like $90 billion worth of QT. That's it. I mean, they got something crazy, 9-10 trillion of it. So, they're supposed to be doing QT now for months, and they haven't done the QT. Months upon months upon months. We thought quantitative tightening was going to happen. Because we went through quantitative easing. The quantitative easing has put, almost $10 trillion into the market. So, that would have been better if they would have taken that path. We really think that would have been the better path. I wish it was taken. It had not been taken. It is not being taken. And so they're beating the economy up harder than they need to try to look. We all know that most of this when you look at a chart on inflation, this inflation started the moment Mr. Biden got into the White House. We had 6.5% GDP at the time. He changed rules and regulations in a matter of hours with executive orders, and from it we've gone from 1.5 in inflation up to, until the war in the invasion into Ukraine, we were up at 7.5% at that point. So the Russian invasion hasn't really added that much more of inflation to the economy. It was more of Joe Biden's, or I like to call him Joe Obama's, policies. So it won't take much to get rid of this once we get rid of him. That's the way I look at it. It's not going to be the Paul Volcker years where people panic and they have to crush the economy and hurt everything and so forth. So, all right, I think we'll have a sip of our tea now. Oh, that was good. Now let's go from the is that the cable? No, that was the Nikkei. Okay. So let's get over to the cable again and go from the cable to the Swiss. And the Swiss has parked itself around the 99s to 100. Look at that. They're playing with a little sell action there. That's pretty cool. They've been in a daily buy since like right there. Let's see if we can widen this a little bit for you. And let's fix that weekly. I'm not sure why this thing keeps on losing data like that. In other words, changing parameters on me. That should be green. That should be white. And that should be blue. Line. There we go. Now that makes more sense to me. There we go. And then let's do a little one of those spinny things and reset that whole thing. Doesn't that look better? It does. Let's widen it out. And as you can see, we are flirting with the daily sell today. I'd been in a buy with this move all the way up over to the par. And talk about par, and par. They went at par with the euro against the dollar. Now par with the Swiss against the dollar. It's like, wow. Par. Let's put the right there. There it is. And you can see a second day of red right there. And, they tried to do it yesterday. They tried to drive it into the sell yesterday and didn't do too good a job. And there's the 18th today. And let's see if we make this a little bit darker or something. Background. Like that. That's even better. I like that. Yeah, see, there you go. So, let's put the green line in there, too. Green. White. There we are. And that's the action we're seeing, playing with that little cell there today. Let's throw that little red line in there. We're going to throw it in down there. What the heck? And like so, and like so, and like so, and like so. There we go. So we're starting to see that. Let's make that a little bit thicker too. There we are. You can see that pressure on it. And it's been in that weekly buy since back here. Let's put that weekly buy in. Right there. And there's the Swiss, and maybe, we haven't seen any other news since Friday where they did more swaps for Switzerland. Oh, Tiziano says, guys, do not close open platform no matter what. Okay, you won't be able to get back in. Okay. All right. Is that what it is at this point? All right, now, from there, we shift over to the Turkish lira. And boy, we can't say enough about that situation. That has been a real surprise. It was one thing for it to lose value. It's another for it to actually what's the best way to describe it? To have illiquidity problems. Illiquidity problems is occurring over there. Now you can see we're trying to perk up again there. Let's put it up on Chicago Quant. But we've been really surprised about this liquidity situation. We really thought that they had something under control, you know? Look at that. There's 3 days now. We haven't had insane swings. That's nice. And we're still in a buy. It went into the buy. I guess it was. I could have sworn it was in their buy yesterday, but yes. Let's see. Let's widen that out. Yeah, they threw a red and green in there. Talk about some of these wild numbers. I mean, look at the size of these crazy moves. And then let's go take a look at it through the Euro Turkish Lira. Right there. And they've done those crazy swing moves too. It's in a buy for a second day. And that pressure is on this product. Let's find it right here. This is the Euro Turkish Lira. Right there. So that pressure of illiquidity is, let's hope it starts to disappear. I was really, really surprised about the lack of participation. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know if that means the government has given up, or they don't have. I don't know. No, we just don't see enough of the stories about Turkey. All we do is follow the math. So what it's really screaming at us out loud is, it's been in that weekly buy for over 30 weeks in the Turkish lira. Now in the euro, it's flirting to get back into the weekly buy. It's been in the weekly sell for 3, 4, 5 weeks now, and it's getting up there. It's starting to touch. That country's got a lot of problems when it comes to their currency. All right. And from there, we slide over to the Canadian. Let's put the Canadian in there. And there's the CAD, dollar CAD, right there. You see it's trying to work its way down. Now, we would assume, we'll go over to the energy side of this real quick, and we would assume that what's going on there is that we should be seeing some, let's see, we can move this one here. There we go. We assume over in the energy sector that oil is up a little bit. So let's take a look and see. There's the spot deck. No, see, it's pushing down today, just underneath a little bit. So that's kind of impressive that we're seeing Canadian, as you see it right there, moving down for the last 2 days and heading down. And then let's jump over to the Canadian on Chicago Quant and see what that looks like right there. And it's pretty much unchanged. 2 days in a sell now, and it's unchanged right there. So when you see this, it's like, you would think that it would be lifting up because the Canadian, or in this case here, the Canadian is pretty much unchanged. It's not really making any real bold moves there. But that is the process, and that's where we're at. Oh, let's fix this. What is up with these charts? So this goes green. This goes white. And this goes dashed. There we are. And there's we've been in a buy from here. Let's put that weekly buy in. Right there. There's, I guess, is there much more you can say about any of this, really, in the sense that, we see the Canadian, kind of a little lost. It's not, it started following the oil about 4 or 5 days ago. after 2 weeks not following it, or we'll say a good 10 days ago that it wasn't following it. Then 5 days ago, trading wise, it started to follow it. Now we're seeing it kind of sloppy, doing nothing at all. All right, and let's save that. There we go. Save. Yes. Right, now from there we're going to drift over to the South African Rand. Right there. As you can see, the Rand is like Canadian, just kind of unchanged. And then let's go take a look at it over here in gold. There's gold. Gold's been going down. South African Rand had been moving up, but lately it's changed direction there. Let's go over and take a look at it right here. We saw some good strength in there yesterday, and then they gave it mostly back. It was like, oh, just when you thought it was safe to get back into the water, you know? It's trying again. It's trying to lift up again. We were through the daily buy at one point, and then it failed by the end of almost the close of last night. And then you see it's trying to lift again, and you can see we're just at the zeros point right now. The weekly, which was through yesterday for a while because it was up so firm, now is kind of backing off a little bit and down about almost 8 points. So we're not really seeing, South African Rand, gold's been going down, South African Rand has been going up. And that's pretty much the story in that universe. And there it is right there again. Let's make this a little bit darker too, like that. Let's fix this one too. So we make that white, make that green. And there's the action. You see 2 days in a sell. Just soft action. If we see gold start to rally again, then we would expect to see, this thing go down. But boy, they've taken it up into the 18.5 area. All right, from there, let's just do a save here too. Save workspace, and then let's go over to J4X and let's slide in the yen right there. The yen keeps on finding ways to go higher. Let's see what it looks like over here. Yeah, look at that. Just keeps on climbing. Climbing. There we are. And it's been in a daily buy for weeks, couple weeks at this point, and been in a weekly buy for a couple months since late August. There we are. And there is the strength. And that's the yen, and it just keeps on finding ways to go higher. We keep on thinking we're going to see, like 152 or 151, or I don't know. We're starting to talk about 30 and 35 year highs now. We're really looking way. I mean, in other words, we're touching those things now. We haven't seen in 35, 40 years. Not since the 90s. Then in the late 80s, we're seeing some real damage, I guess you could say, to the product itself. Now, when you really think about it that hard, it's not that bad. I mean, 147 or 148 compared to being for years like 90s and 80s, under a par or a dollar. So it's not the worst thing. I mean, think about it in the sense of like the Turkish lira, where the Turkish lira went from par to 18. Can you imagine an 18? We're not going to even remotely even see anything like that. We'll probably never even see a 2 when it comes to the yen against the dollar. But, I mean, we've seen the Turkish lira go from 1 to 19. Wow. I mean, now talk about the world coming to an end financially, there's one right there. All right, and then from there, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see. Oh, let me save this one too. We go over to the Mexican peso. Go to south of the border. And you can see that action. You know, they're still not taking out the bottoms in here. It's just kind of really sloppy and quiet. Where's the greens? I don't see the greens. Let me look at the indicator and figure out where they put the green dots. I see all reds. I don't see any greens. Cancel. Where is that? Where's the up? Huh. Properties? Huh? I didn't take a look. Cancel. Let's do this. Let's see what the red is. So it's in 1. So let's make the greens look bigger or something like that. Maybe it's turned off. What's the status? I don't know. We'll have to open and close it so we can straighten that out. Save workspace. There we go. All right, so the Mexican peso, not much more to be said. Just the fact that it is not getting oh, you know what? Look at that. I just realized that it wasn't a weekly buy, and it's been really hanging very softly along that line. I mean, just tugging at it. Let's see. Let's fix that. Right there. And you can see right here, let's widen this a little bit. You can see it slipped underneath the weekly. Right there. There we are. Put the little pink thing around it like so, and fix the background like so. There we are. You see that pressure on it. Maybe it'll go down to the bottom of this range. I mean, this is not, this particular currency, you know, with the location and so forth, has not been, you know, it's probably the strongest one. You know, I think we've compared it to the Zloty. When you look at the Euro Zloty pairs trade, I mean, the Mexican peso dollar pairs trade is very firm also. I mean, we've only bounced around, say, 19 up to 20 or 21. I mean, it's pretty passive. Like I said, can you imagine if Turkey was blessed with that, something as simple as that, where it just goes from, like, you know, 1.5 to I don't know, 1 3/4. I mean, that's what pretty much the same relationship. Being at 19 and bouncing to 20 or 21 and then backing back down again, it just hangs out. That's just a two-handle move for years. Whereas we've seen the poor Turkish lira, you know, which is our main example of something that's gone wild. You know, move from the 13s to the 19s, back down to the 13s and the 14s, and it's much jumping around, much more volatile. All right, now let's save that. Now, let's do this. Let's close that workspace. Yes to all. Maybe it'll save it nicely. There we go. All right, now here's gold. You can see gold. It's, you know, it's trying to lift up, but it is minus for the day. Let's take a look at it over on J4X. Right there, same situation. Lots of red, just like we've seen the lots of red over here. And let's put up silver. See what the silver's doing. We've been a little disappointed that we're not getting as much strength out of it, but you got a green today. And at the same time, Silver did close in a daily buy last night, right there. And it's holding up, and it is plus for the day too. Maybe only 9 cents, but at least it's plus. And we're in a weekly sell again. It's trapped in that universe of daily buy, weekly sell, stand to the side. That's what that says. Stand to the side. Don't get involved at the moment. And that has been the issue with this constantly. Now, from there, let me do this. Let's go over to the copper contract. And you can see copper is in a daily sell for a day, isn't it? Let's just double check that. I guess use that. So is that right? Let me just double check the copper. Copper. And this is the deck contract. And yesterday, yeah, see, it's a no. See, so it went into the buy there and sell. This is on the it's flirting with it. That's for sure. And it looks like it's pushing itself into the sell there, right there. So let's put that in there. There we go. And it's still in that weekly sell. So the pressure is on that. Let's save that. Save workspace. What else can we say about any of that? I guess what it really comes down to is that the action that we've been getting in the copper market with the 20th Communist Party conference going on. I thought we figured that once the conference was over with, that China would then you would see some more action again in the copper. It's been kind of stale, kind of sitting sideways down at the low end of the range. It does have that reverse head and shoulders look at it. It's used very aggressively in China as like a gold. Copper is their gold. So, we just keep an eye on that. See how that all plays out. Indeed. All right. From there, we're going to go take a look at platinum. See if I know platinum has jumped up the last couple of days in January. There we are. But we need that weekly to turn around too, right there. Now they're showing us a little weakness today. Really would love to see this weekly turn itself up. Maybe that would be the beginning of something we've been expecting for 5-6 months, and that is we're in that sweet zone now. So we're watching it closely. All right, from there we're going to drift over to the natural energy market, and there is the front month crude oil. Still falling down a little bit in there. Let's put Brent up on J4X, right? So underneath now 93. It was 93 yesterday. Now we're at 91. So they're putting some pressure in that. You can see that green line has been minus for weeks. And it's flirts, tries to get into a buy, but we're still with the red hinky. So you can see that pressure is on the downside still. And that's pretty much the same story. We're in a weekly sell here from last week. And now we are flirting with a daily sell again. Let's take a look at the February contract in the back month area right there. Same situation. In this case here, it went into the sell 3 days ago. So it's been really feeling that pressure. Lots of red, or no red, red, green, red. I mean, that's pretty much the name of the story. And closing in a weekly sell last week on the back month crude contract. Now let's take a look at, we were a little surprised. We're going to go to natural gas. And we were really surprised how natural gas, let's see, where's that right there. We're underneath the 6 here. But we were really surprised about the Spanish contract, with that Spanish oil company. And we were real surprised that it jumped up into the 23s. Thought it would be hanging around in the mid to high 22s or something like that. But again, Uh, one moment they're telling you that Europe's got enough natural gas, and the next moment they're telling you they don't. So it goes back and forth. It vacillates. And let's put natural gas up on there. There it is. This is the December contract. You can see that pressure on that. We've been in the sell since the 720s, and we're now trading at 638. This is the December contract, whereas on J4X you're seeing the spot contract of October getting ready to go out the door. October? No, it must be November. November going out the door. All right, and then from there, what we'll do is we'll stick the gas company that we follow on here, and there it is right there. It was in the 23s yesterday. Oh, now we're in the 24s. So we've gone from 22.5 up to 24. We're seeing U.S. natural gas go down in price, but European natural gas obviously is feeling a little pinch on the upside there. Now, I did see a headline, I guess it was about 3 or 4 hours ago, that said that the Chinese were going to stop selling natural gas to Europe that they buy from Russia. And go figure. I'm always trying to figure out what they're up to next, the games that they play. All right. Let's see. Now, from there, we slide over to, let's take a look at the stock indices. And there is the S&P 500. We did take a peek at that earlier today. Let's see, where are you? Right there. We are towards the highs of the day, but we've backed off just a little bit, nothing major. The Dow was up about 630 points. Now it's up 580, just a 50-point backing filling. You can see that weekly is trying to turn. And then from there, we go over to the Tech 100. Tech 100 is doing the same thing, but look at that. It's trying to do a little flirting on the downside. I don't think that's right, because that doesn't look right from yesterday. That low is way too low. But you can see the pressure is still on it on the weekly. And let's take a look at it over here. There's Tech 100. You see that? It's trying to push up strong and steady. And then let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right there. And that's holding on. That's been in a buy for, I think it's 5 days or 4 days. Definitely it's been in a buy, and it's trying to climb with no problem whatsoever through the weekly at this point. So, as we mentioned, I think yesterday, and we've mentioned it last week, the talk has been buy industrials. So in other words, if the market's going to bounce, the industrials will feel it more than anything else. So they've been really pushing on the idea of buy the industrials. And then let's go over and look at Bitcoin. Oh, I heard that. Sounded like some interference. Where is that? Right. Where are you, Bitcoin? There it is. It's trying to lift here. We're at 657. Up 125 points for the day. So that pressure is 4 days in the daily buy. And now, why is our weekly not generating? We'll have to fix that too. I have to remember to go back and chase after that. Last we looked, it was still, was it in a weekly buy or a weekly sell? Let me think. I think it was it was flirting with a weekly buy. And I think it was just starting to touch the weekly buy yesterday. So we'll have this fixed for tomorrow. Let's see what it looks like on J4X for a weekly. Yeah, see that? It's trying to turn up also right there. You see the lines trying to turn, we're getting the green. So we're seeing that strength in it. All right. We can take a peek at some intraday action. Let's see, where are we at in this thing? I just saw it a few seconds ago. Right now, I see the Dow Jones Industrial Average up only 522. It's dropped another 60 points, and it's about 100 points off the highs now. The high was 30,877, and now we're trading at 30,754. So we're just like 120 points off the highs of the day. And then the dollar index is still moving down. I can see that. And what else can we say? Coinbase is looking very good. That's good. That's in a weekly buy. I know that part. Let's take a look at that. Right there. Let's see how that opens up. I just want to show you Coinbase. Coinbase has been fantastic. It's gone from like the 30s up to the 70s. That has been very impressive. And let's see, right there. That low is, there's 53. That's just 2 months ago. And that's in the 40s. And that low is 40 itself back in May of last year. So it's almost doubled in price. We've seen this thing, oh, we have. We've seen it go to here to 116 from literally from a low of 40. And then, you know, they sold it down again, and this time it locked into this, I guess it's the low 60s, and it's starting to build a base again and trying to turn back up again too. So this is the Coinbase exchange, where they trade the cryptocurrencies themselves on an exchange floor or some type of exchange system of some form. All right. Let's take a look at Tesla there, just because it's there. Tesla closing a daily buy yesterday. It's lifting again today, and it's trying to break down. Let's fix that. Something doesn't look right there. That should be white. And that should be green. And that should be blue. There we are. That's better. And that's what's going on there. That makes more sense. So it's on a second day of buying at this point. Let's just double check this one too. Yep, and yep. Good. And that's the Tesla. Tesla is trying to find a bottom. What did they do? They take it down to the 204 area just a couple of days ago. And the highs have been, let's see, where are they at? Let's contract this a little bit more. So the highs have been around the 360 area. So it's lost not 50%, but close to it. It's taken out a lot. I mean, 180 would have been 50% down. And that's pretty damaging. And we'll see how they go with this over the next couple months, see if they start to pick it back up again. All right, from there, Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, that Kathleen Woods Shroon thing. There it is right there. It's still in a weekly sell from the 4.5 area. And it's now trading at $3. Has 4 points lead over. Oh, okay. And that is pretty much those stocks that we do take a peek at. We're following Turkish lira for some. Not Turkish lira, the Turkish ETF. Look at the move. Got into the buy here. This thing rocketed itself up big time. From the 24 area, 2360, all the way up to the 2690. Pretty good move, and it's been in that weekly buy for that period of time, basically. Went into the buy here, I guess it was in the 22 area, and moved all the way up to 2490. Wow, almost 25. It's been an interesting buy signal. All right, now, there we go. Trying to think what else we got to look at here. Anybody see anything they would like to take a look at? I see we've been picking up more viewers, and Janos is saying do not refresh, because if you refresh you get knocked off or something. There's a technical difficulty going on, but it looks like everybody's holding up fairly well around here. We've shown you the stock, and you know what? I want to take a look at the Russell 2000. Sometimes the Russell can tell us some really good insight, and we showed that the Russell found a way to get into the sell. Where's it at? Where's the Russell? Why don't I not see the Russell? All right, we'll have to hunt down the Russell. But it's tried to bottom out and seems to have done just that. And we're seeing some, this worldwide stock market at the moment. If nothing else, the Fed can be just buying just for, look, if they're willing to release oil from the reserves to try to help out the election, then why wouldn't they be willing to open up the QE again? And they don't have to tell anybody, just do it. And the markets move up because the cash, then we put that article up last week where it showed that they give banks like $500 million overnight for free. And they just keep them feeding those $500 million for free. And if they generate, just imagine if they only generate 1%. 1% on $1 billion is like $1 million. So, generating $500,000 a night for free, I'm sure everybody would love to do that. All right. What else can we look at here? Go take a look at some of the intraday, if anybody cares to see the intraday. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I want to talk about, really? Not much more to be talked about. I guess we have to come up with a title. So what was it? QT? That was pretty much the beginning of the conversation today when we started off, is that, is the Fed doing QT? Is it not doing QT? We're not really sure, and we don't know. And that's one of the problems with the way the economy has been functioning around here, is they do what they want to do when they want to do it. And that's why we have 40-year inflation, because they're just doing it and spending money and not helping out whatsoever, unfortunately. Classic. What was it? Excuse me. One of my friends texted me yesterday and said, someone said something about, some type of like QE thing or something like that, And he says it was on Bloomberg. And he says, but then it disappeared after a while. No one talked about it. And, and I said, that they do that all the time. They put headlines out there that make no sense just to disrupt or confuse or distract, and that is the norm. So, could the Fed be doing QE again? There's a really good chance it's doing it. QE, or QT. And we really don't know. That's what the problem is. And that is really disturbing because that's why we have, like I said, we have 40 some odd year inflation numbers now because of it. And it doesn't seem to be sinking into their minds, you know. I don't know. It's a bunch of outlaws that run the place anymore. All right, this is Doc from North America. We will catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel, and it'll be Happy to Hump Day tomorrow. It'll be Wednesday. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, be safe, be smart. Catch you tomorrow.